on Yelp. Pull up all these pictures and you're like, oh, that's the dessert you're eating? All right, for sure. That's the candle? Okay, that's the same candle. I know where you're at. 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. Wait, can you run that long? No offense.
That's how I got married, dog. You know, first date, bro.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, my first date with him.
And look at
I think a guy's more comfortable being alone than a girl, but I mean, that's a whole nother
think so? Thank you for listening to the Men Don't Know podcast. I'm the man of many friends, your host and creator, Chris Boone. Here on the podcast, we talk with a bunch of guys. We ask a bunch of women questions over wine and cocktails. Whether you're listening to it on Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Pandora, YouTube, or you downloaded that Men Don't Know podcast app, I cannot thank y'all enough. Merch store is open as always, but hit me up on Instagram at Men Don't Know, Twitter at Men Don't Know 1. Shoot me an email, Chris at MenDon'tKnow.com, or hop on the MenDon'tKnow.com website and shoot me a message. Coy, my guy, yes. How are we living?
What's up?
Question of the day. The question is, do you think that women will leave because of embarrassment or not being validated in the relationship first? So the idea of the question is, you embarrass your woman, is she more or less to leave because of that, or at the same time she doesn't feel validated in the relationship, is she automatically going to be out?
Well,
yeah,
the embarrassing thing,
yeah,
I think that happens normally in relationships, and you put up with it for as long as you know, as long as you're okay with it. But sooner or later, you put your foot down on that. The validation part is probably more important, because you might realize, like, hey, what am I doing in this? Do I even mean anything to him? And you might have a come to moment where you're like, you know. So I think it's on the individual and how they were and how they are going to be. And
okay, let me ask you this: for you, in a relationship with a woman, what would you say? For you,
I would say the embarrassment part, because you know in the beginning if you're validated or not. That's the reason why that person is with you.
Yeah.
Because you feel important and you make them feel important. But the embarrassment part is like, yeah, how you can do that to me? You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's a no-fly zone. All right, here we go. Let's call
obviously different levels of embarrassment too.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Hey.
Hey, what up, Nina?
Nothing. How are you?
Good. I'm here with Coy. Coy, say what's up, Nina.
Nina, what's going on?
Hey, Coy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
See how quick she rolled into her questions?
You should get into your questions quick, too.
She didn't even let it breathe. Wow, Coy. I don't even know if I like that side of you. 2025, crazy. All right, Nina, question of the day. Let me ask you this. I guess you could say it's a two-part question, but
okay.
I like calling you because you probably don't realize that you've been the strength to a lot of women in what you say here on the podcast, because of a lot of them have been through all your relationships. Literally, last 5 years, you know, and you know, I mean, you know, the idea of, you know, you being able to pick yourself back up helps them when they're going through their relationships and their stumbles and their X, Y's, and Z's. So that's why I really wanted to call you on this one and ask you, what would make a woman leave first? Not being validated in the relationship or being embarrassed in the relationship?
Not being validated in the relationship would make a woman leave first.
Okay, now why would you say that?
I feel like, you know, in every relationship you do have embarrassing moments, but that's not necessarily, you know, the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Okay.
Even though, you know, everyone can define embarrassing a bit different, because my embarrassment and someone else's is different.
Yep.
But not being validated in a relationship, what's the point of being in the relationship then? Because let's be honest. Like, if we don't, like, we can have friends for the last 10 or 15 years, but I would tell you one thing, like, they feel, as I've been told, like, ghosted or just not feeling it, they'll leave at a drop of a dime. So it's not being validated. Yeah.
Damn. Let's take the embarrassment farther. Do you think women will leave on the cheating part? Do you think women will leave because they got cheated on, or because you made them out to look like a fool and embarrass them in front of family and friends? Because I say this because of the fact that, if a woman catches her man cheating in private and no one ever knew or suspected, back in the day, it looked like there was a better chance of her staying and working it out versus him getting caught on the gram and your relationship being put on social display and you making it look like a fool would make you want to leave immediately, I take it.
Honestly, what I've seen these days is that people, women or men, like, they will stay with that cheating partner only because they do hear of everyone's, stories about just the dating scene. So it's like, okay, he just did that. He still came, or she just, she came home, whatnot. It can be forgiven because I don't want to put the work in to go and date someone else. I've seen that happen often.
Really?
Yeah. Versus like, oh, you embarrassed me in front of your family. I've seen a few where it's like, oh, you embarrassed me in front of my family. And then they will just not show up for a few family events because they'll let the situation die down because they thought it had died down, which no one forgets. But they still bring them to the table. I mean, seen it plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty.
100%.
Yeah.
Last question for you then, because at what point let me give you a scenario so that way it's easier. Okay. Dating. Example, I'm still single. I'm dating a girl for the last 4 months, and at what point, and we're just dating, at what point do I need to validate her in our relationship? I'm trying to give a guy an idea of when and what time that he needs to make sure she feels validated in this relationship or situation that they are doing.
Well, it really depends on the person, because you can be dating for 4 months, but still, like, every single date there's something that's just off that you can't pinpoint it. So that's clearly why you're still dating.
Okay.
Got it. Like, I've dated for that long where I'm just like, I don't know. This is like, it's not filling, it's not keeping my cup full.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about dating, because then you're like, you know what, I don't think this is working.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I'm better off as friends, because you probably are better off as friends.
Sometimes,
but it really depends. But that's why you should just go with your intuition. You should check in on yourself and be like, hey, how am I feeling? Is this conversation a good conversation? Can I see, like, going further, whatever further means, in this relationship? Because at the end of the day, you need to be true to yourself. Who cares about anybody else? You need to be true to yourself.
All right, Nina. Last question. This comes from the idea of giving a woman some advice on staying too long.
Oh, yeah, I know that way too well.
And then the relationship gets cut abruptly.
Yeah.
And she needs advice on getting back to herself. What would you say?
I would say everyone knows when the relationship has met its peak. Especially if it's just a relationship, you're not married or whatnot. You know when it has met its peak.
Take me to church.
And to the point where, thank God, whomever cut it off. Because clearly that wasn't in God's plan. That's just how I see it. And getting back to yourself, is simply learning what you like, what you enjoy. And sometimes that may take a few months. It might take a year or two. It depends, because some people just fall in love with themselves. They're like, I need time to go, twirl around the world. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's really, honestly, it's thanking God, because you dodged a bullet. Dodged a bullet. That's someone else's headache, or that's someone else's prize. But just really, just get back to you. Whatever that means, whether that's just you sitting. And I always tell people, I was like, this is just for the moment. It's not for the lifetime, unless you make that feeling a lifetime.
Oh, make that feeling. 100%. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
How do you? I mean, I guess now my next question. I hate to keep running on with this, but how do you not make it feel like a lifetime? Because I mean, I'm not. A breakup will make you feel like this is it.
Yeah, but in reality, and honestly, this is probably going to sound terrible, but people always is like, how come you watch what I call trash TV, because it's reality show, but not reality show, is because when you're watching it, sometimes you're like, you think that you're in the worst, but you're watching a bigger disaster on TV. So that's why
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Damn, Nina, that is facts.
Yeah.
You. Damn, on live display.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through.
Go ahead.
Right. I went through a breakup earlier this year, but people would have never known, because I'd be looking on TV like, shit. Number one, I dodged a bullet. Number two, I'm so glad not to be in whom else's shoes, regardless of if it's scripted or not.
Yeah.
But it's why it's just for the moment.
Yeah.
And I've always told myself that it's just for the moment. It's not for the lifetime, unless you want to make it a lifetime, because people can change their perspective and realize what they want. And it can happen a lot quicker than people realize. It's just that some people listen and say, oh, for every year you've been with the person, it might take you 2 years. That's bullshit.
No, fuck that.
You can be with someone for 7 years and be like, you know what?
Fuck this.
I'm going to do me for about 6 months, enjoy myself. And who knows, maybe while you're twirling around the world enjoying yourself, you meet someone who has that same energy, who wants that same thing that you've been wanting, and you twirl yourself in a relationship and then get married. So it's all on the person. Every person's different.
I tell everybody, things fall apart to fall into place.
That's exactly right.
Shoot. All right, we appreciate you. I'm going to let you go.
Same here. Bye,
see you
guys.
later.
Thank you.
Damn. I often sit back and I think, like, I could deal with the embarrassment. Validate me. Because you are who you're not, you will never be. The level of embarrassment, as I find out, I will move accordingly. Like, oh, no, like, this could never happen. I can never do this.
As far as embarrassment is concerned, think about 30 years long ago. If something happened, maybe the girl just sits in her house and cries or whatever, lonely for a couple of days. No one's talking to her. She's sad. He comes back a couple of days. Hey, sorry, baby, blah, blah. All's good. No embarrassment. At least not for everybody to see. But now, when it happens.
Oh, yeah, it's spotlight.
When it happens, you're going to have all those voices in your ear.
Oh, my gosh.
Bad, mostly bad, some good. And by then, it's too late. Like there's no coming back, because she's already made up her mind based on other people.
Is that why you don't give advice, Coy?
Yeah.
I mean, I always wonder, is that why you don't give advice?
Don't give involuntary.
Yeah, but advice. even if someone's going to ask you, I know you're very hesitant on giving your opinion on certain
I'm more
situations.
like, just sit back and weigh everything out, and you can make the decision on your own. Like, and plus, if I say something that's fucked up, you're not going to blame that shit on me.
I mean, we could, but
this is what
Coy was right. Coy was right.
Because like being embarrassed off of cheating or whatever. If a girl, she didn't have social media, but now she might put up a quote.
Oh yeah.
Oh my, you know
New
those.
year, new me.
Yeah, blah blah blah. And then what is their DMs flooded with?
Oh,
Guys saying what?
Pick me's.
Exactly. So it's like there's no.
We are gonna talk. Note that down. We're gonna talk about pick me's. I hate that.
Pick me.
Guys, don't be a pick me. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I did it back then, but it's like now everybody does it. You know.
That we will get that. There's like, I can't even tell you how many women have told me they're dating Nightmare in my DM this whole week. I said, we in Christmas. I said, how can I fuck up at Christmas? My homegirl went on a date. By the time, okay, I can just say my homegirl went on a date last night, and she hit me while she was on the way to the date. Because we were chatting this and third, so she hit me on my way to the date. You know, I'm doing a men don't know, no. And I said, well, what do you mean? She was like, oh, I'm wearing jeans and boots. I was like, what are you talking about? That's a win. I was like, because she told me where she was going and it was gonna be an activity. I was like, nah, you're in a win. That's a dope outfit. She was like, oh, okay. And I was like, if y'all were going to something elegant and nice, I'm like, damn, he could have, you know what I'm saying, he about to, you know, drop a bag on dinner. Like, but if he's not, no, that's a W, you know. And she hit me at 4:45 that she was pulling up and walking in. And she was already in the car on her way home at 6:10.
So a little over an hour and a half, if that.
Yeah.
Where do they go?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
Yeah. They did a indoor outdoor activity.
Okay.
And it, you know, they had a couple drinks, but I try to tell people, I said, depending on when he was born, like, and what he, you know, I was like, she was like, sorry to jump around. She told me, she was like, oh, he's a great communicator on the phone and through text message. Mm-hmm. I said, no.
That's simulation, baby. Where's the real life?
Yeah. No. Everybody good until they in front of the crowd. Okay, like they say, you know, playoffs is a whole different different game.
Everybody's good in Madden 2K.
Okay, what is it? Playoffs and the Super Bowl are two different leagues. Lights are brighter. Super Bowl lights are way brighter. You fuck up, this could be the game, and the game could be on you. Now, she found out just because he's good on the phone and good
that was her first time going out, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I said, how do you ask one-word answers? I mean, ask one-word questions. I mean, he would ask a question for a one-word answer, and I'm like, that. Come on.
So, do you like food? Yes.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Lucky we're gonna have some food tonight.
Oh my God, Coy, I was just like, how? And I told her, mind you, we've been friends for, you know, now I look back on it, a little bit over a year. And when we went out, we like, and mind you, it was the first time we had hung out, and I was like, that had to Uber home. We were just, it was a wow. Didn't think we were gonna take this to happy hour, and we met at 9 a.m. basically. And I was just like, oh, wow, this is what we're doing, huh? So that just will tell you, like, men. Communication, public speaking, like, guys, all communication, just grab a book. Like, you gotta have the gift of gab nowadays. I'm trying to tell you, 2025, if you cannot talk, do not
do you think guys prep what they're gonna say and have questions ready, or they just wing
when
it?
On the phone, or
no, when they're going out
on the date?
Yeah. You know, at least a couple days in advance that you have a date that night. Like, are you even?
Do you prep for a date?
Some people don't need to. They just, you know.
Okay, Coy. I'm about to say, Coy. Some people, let me hear you prepping for a date. Okay, Coy. Coy. When was the last time you need to prep for a date? No, I could talk to anybody. I could put grandma on the couch and me and her have a 7-hour conversation. I'll make it till she needs to get her meds. Like, Coy, this is what I'm saying. Guys, we got to do better. Got to do better. All right, man, let's get out of here. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for listening, whether you listen to it on Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Pandora, YouTube, or you downloaded that Men Don't Know podcast app. I cannot thank y'all enough. Merch store is open as always, but hit me up on Instagram at Men Don't Know, Twitter at Men Don't Know 1. Shoot me an email, Chris at mendontknow.com, or hop on the mendontknow.com website and shoot me a message. Coy, my guy, we are out.
How many pictures are on